On to the papers. The Star newspaper, CS Matiang'i attacks Ruto, tells DP to quit. CS Matiang'i attacks Ruto, tells DP to quit. Interior Chief dismisses deep state narrative, claims second in command is a populist. But Ford Kenya's Wetangula defends UDA leader, saying that there's a plot to rig polls. That is what's on the front page of the Star newspaper. Kalonzo team, Kenyatta and Raila have betrayed us. This is something that we'll be discussing in the next hour with our analyst here. Raila to meet senior US senators and tech giants. He will be leaving the country on 21st, that is on Friday, and he'll be there for 1 week. And for 3 days, the ODM leader will spend 3 days each in Washington and Silicon Valley. Accompanying Raila for the high-profile trip include Governors Wycliffe Oparanya of Kakamega, Ndiritu Muriithi of Laikipia, and James Ongwae of Kisii. Then, on Sunday, there is that video that went viral of a woman who was being assaulted. Yeah, so sad. In my home area, Kaspul Kabondo. So 3 gentlemen have been arrested. And when you look at the photos of 3 gentlemen who were arrested, these are people who are most likely in their late 70s or early 80s. And my take is that probably they have never appeared on a newspaper for any good or bad reason. But, you know, at their old age, now they're appearing on the newspaper headlines for all the wrong reasons. And perhaps they've never been arrested. Okay. This story of graft. Prisons employees 275 million shillings assets frozen in graft war. His salary is only 20,000 shillings, but he's worth 275 million shillings. Life is unfair. So the High Court has frozen assets worth 275 million shillings belonging to an employee of the State Department of Corrections. The assets were allegedly obtained through dubious deals. Now, Justice Esther Maina granted the order after the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission told the court that Eric Mutai fraudulently acquired the assets through fictitious contracts in 4 years between 2012 and 2016. Now the judge further directed Mutai to surrender the vehicle's logbooks to EACC within 7 days. All right. So according to the story here, the 3 gentlemen will be arraigned after the police complete their investigation. Now, the story is that the violence began on Sunday when the woman's son was fighting with his sister. Clan members said that he was disobedient and wanted to turn him over to the police. His mother protested the move to surrender him, and during the process, she was accused of removing her undergarment to demonstrate her protest against the clan decision. The woman denied that she had removed her undergarment, and that is exactly. But according to the lady, she said that she did not do such a thing. It was just an accusation. And even in the video, somebody would hear her saying that that is a t-shirt. That is not what you people are talking about. But the lashing continued for close to 6 minutes or so. Yeah. So Kalonzo team, Uhuru, Raila have betrayed us. According to close sources, that is Makueni Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr., who has claimed that Kalonzo signed a separate deal with Uhuru and Raila, handing him the running mate slot. Now, the agreement, he said, was in line with the 3-legged stool arrangement that placed the 3 as the key anchors of the Azimio coalition. Details of this is what we'll be discussing in the next segment of in our viewpoint. And ODM leader to meet senior senators, tech giants in US tour that starting on Friday. Raila to give tickets on Bomas despite protest. That is what will be happening. ODM leader Raila Odinga on Wednesday will hand out nomination certificates despite protest by losers, accusing the party of imposing unpopular candidates. Now, the Orange party boss and Azimio presidential flag bearer will first meet nominees at the Bomas of Kenya before conferring the documents on them. Now, the nominees include those who won in the primaries, okay, as well as those who received direct tickets. So that will be happening actually today at the Bomas of Kenya. Raila's presidential campaign secretariat, Dennis Onsarigo, on Tuesday confirmed that the meeting will indeed take place. That's what I have for you on this time. Jen.
Now, let me bring you to the Daily Nation, and we start off with, of course, the main read here on the front page. Now, teachers want 16,000 hike in school fees, and this is what came from the meeting that has been happening for comprising the secondary school head teachers in Mombasa. So they now say that citing the high cost of running schools, and especially amid the hard economic times that we are in, they now want parents to be charged an extra 8,000 per child, and for the government to raise the capitation per child to by another 8,000 from the current 22,000 to 30,000. Will they have their way? We are yet to get the response from the government, and especially so the Ministry of Education. That story has been covered here on this particular daily. This is all in line with making sure that they're able to attend to the kids, and especially so as we are in this crash program to try and get back to the normal academic year that is expected to resume in January of 2023. Away from that, we come to the next story, politics here. It's Igathe and Wanyonyi for the Nairobi race. So according to this particular daily, there was a meeting and a State House brokers deal. They're clearing the way for former Nairobi DG Polycarp Igathe to be named as the Azimio One Kenya candidate for Nairobi's gubernatorial race, and of course being seconded by Westlands MP Team Wanyonyi. It is said that this happened yesterday in a meeting that took place in State House, and currently Igathe is the commercial officer. Yeah, the chief commercial officer at Equity Group Holdings, and it is said that yesterday they were in a closed-door meeting, and they settled on him being the Azimio flag, to fly the Azimio flag, and of course being his running mate being Team Wanyonyi. And of course, you still remember we have Nairobi Governor Anne Kananu, who is also in the race for re-election. Now, away from that, we also have that story concerning the 6-piece vote. And according to the Uhuru camp in the coalition, they tell him it is a no. This has been covered here on page 4 and 5. And according to President Kenyatta's camp within the Azimio la Umoja coalition, yesterday they warned that ODM leader Raila Odinga's 6-piece suit call in Nyanza could upset the voter turnout and could one way or the other be termed as zoning, which is something that they are trying to avoid. So instead, they want Mr. Odinga to let all candidates fight it out at the polls, dismissing this 6-piece suit call, and saying that every candidate has a right to go for all these elective seats, and in one way or the other he should stop to attempt to reintroduce zoning through this back door that was rejected by the affiliates. So saying those that are seeking any of these seats should go to the polls and fight it out. And yesterday affiliate parties also demanded that Mr. Odinga retract his statement, which they say could hurt the coalition's bigger picture. So they say he needs to retract that statement concerning the 6-piece suit vote in his home ground. Now, coming to the last story, or rather second last story, concerning the puzzle of yet another athlete killed allegedly by lover. And this comes only about 7 months before, or rather after, the death of Agnes Tirop that also happened in Iten. So according to the Elgeyo Marakwet County, where she was discovered, the body of Damaris Muthe, according to this particular daily, the officers reported that the 24-year-old's body was found decomposing in a house in Iten. They go on to say that they believe that the boyfriend is the one who committed the act because he has since fled the country after her body was discovered. And again, this comes only 7 months after Agnes Tirop was discovered. And finally, here on the front page of the Daily Nation, this is a story concerning the scandal of a level 5 hospital. It's supposed to be a level 5 hospital considering it got the certification on the 1st of January this year. This is the puzzle concerning Meditest Hospital, which they go on to give great detail about this particular hospital. And in brief, this hospital does not even have its own kitchen. They apparently get food for the patients across the road because they do not have the facility to have in-house kitchen, and also its capacity does not allow it to have level 5 clearance, and yet it was given this clearance by the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council this year, January. So what really happened in regards to this particular case of it being issued a level 5 clearance? Well, that story is here on page 10 of the Daily Nation. Victor.
And very quickly on the People Daily here on this front page, Nairobi seat stars Azimio bosses. Meeting chaired by Uhuru fails to unlock deadlock over who between Jubilee and ODM should contest in the city's gubernatorial race. That is also on the front page of the People Daily. Reality check for aspirants running as independent candidates, something that we'll also be discussing in the next hour. And of course, that story of Ethiopian links to killing of athlete Mutheu, whose decomposing body was found by police in her house in Iten. Shock of 2,000 mentally unfit cops. That is according to Matiang'i. Very quickly, that is on the front page. Now, Raila tells cause to vote 6 piece for ODM hopeful. Again, Raila says that Azimio presidential candidate promises residents huge benefits from SGR, promises to improve Mombasa Port, and so much more. That is, again, what is there. Very quickly, Ethiopian link to murder of another female athlete, Damaris Mutua, is said to have been killed by her foreign colleague who fled the country after the incident. And finally, beaten bigwigs rush to ditch parties for independent tags. But stringent rules await them, such as submitting 1,000 signatures and ID cards, copies of their supporters. That is what will be happening in the next few days as the race to succeed each candidate intensifies. State releases 16 billion shillings capitation to schools. Head teachers, however, called for a 28% increase of the money to meet growing economic demand. Okay, matters education, again, something that we'll be handling in the next segment. For now, Regina, what do you have on the Standard?
Skimming through the Standard this morning, it's just about conversations around the political scene. Deep State, Matiang'i attacks Ruto there. No holds barred. That's the Kika Interior CS Defense President's support for ODM leader presidential bid, and accuses the Deputy President of perpetrating a pandemic of lies and complaining of non-existent Deep State for political mileage. I'm sure that is going to be tackled when you deal with matters politics, Victor there. Then there's sad story there of the slain athlete found dead in her boyfriend's house just yesterday there. Apparently now information coming in that Kenyan-born Baharini athlete Damaris Mutheu was found dead in a house in Iten, Elgeyo Marakwet County, and her death comes exactly 6 months after Agnes Tirop was murdered in the same county. So, according to KO North Deputy County Commissioner Julius Mayo, he said that the Ethiopian athlete Eskander Haile Mariam is a main suspect in this particular murder incident there. And he said that Mutheu's body was found in Haile Mariam's bed on Tuesday. The suspect is now in Ethiopia, and he's said to have phoned a neighbor to say that he had killed his girlfriend. Now, details of his age are not immediately known. Residents of Iten knew him only as Koki. This is a very sad affair. The slain lady used to train in Iten and Kapsabet, has already been termed to be very hardworking and forward-thinking. She had won the Marrakech 20 kilometers race in Morocco in 2018, and there was a runners-up in a number of competitions, such as the Casablanca Memorial Round 10-kilometer race. Investigations are underway. I don't know what, as far as diplomacy is concerned, I don't know what it takes to actually have someone extradited from Ethiopia to come back to answer to this issues of murder there. I don't know what happens. This will take quite some diplomacy to have this person tried and possibly convicted for murder. Matters of politics, there we have the negotiations that were made between, Wiper, actually negotiated by Wiper leader there, Kalonzo Musyoka, to have former Governor Julius Malombe carry the flag, or rather is the flag bearer in as far as the Wiper party is concerned in Kitui County for the gubernatorial race there. Also, there's a question of the running mate, and this does not just befall Kenya Kwanza, but also is something that is dogging Azimio. And now there is talk and an endorsement from women leaders coming out to say that, you know what, we want Martha Karua to be picked as Raila Odinga's running mate. Well, she comes in with a wealth of experience, and if you go back in history, 2007, there was a Monica that came and said that she's the only man in Kibaki's cabinet, and this is in her defense of Mwai Kibaki there in the disputed elections of 2007. But the question of loyalty, can it be transferred? That's a question. And looking at the voting history of women, women are said to be enemies of their own. Will she bring or deliver the votes in as far as Azimio is concerned? That is, if she's picked as the deputy president, and also, or rather the running mate in as far as Azimio is concerned. And also there's the question of Kalonzo Musyoka, with a rich voting bloc pegged at around 2 million or so votes. Will he be picked? Well, it's a headache indeed in as far as, the race to the top is concerned on the August 9th polls there. There's also an exclusive interview of none other than Toto. She's referred to as Toto because during the UDA nominations that were taking place and are still ongoing in some areas there, as late as yesterday, we had the ticket being handed over to Charles Keter there. This lady took the social media as well and mainstream media by storm. Why? Because after she was apparently or allegedly barred from accessing the current residence, well, she is going to be in elective politics. Bomet woman representative flying the UDA flag. There's an exclusive interview here, and her mother Betty Langat has been quoted here, and I would like to read it out as we bring this to a close and usher in conversations to better put matters of politics into perspective. She says, like any parent, I wanted her to get a job and stop listening to those who are advising her to toss herself into politics. I thought they were all fooling her. So who's fooling who? Toto is Bomet woman representative flying the UDA flag there, waiting for the polls come August 9th. I'm Regina Manyara. I wish you a pleasant viewing ahead.